Recording it, right?
There you
There you go.
You got us. All right, if you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, we'll call the meeting of 22nd to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We remain standing. Today is the sad anniversary of 1 year since Officer Tarantino was killed in the line of duty. And as we attended a dedication to a monument today, it was, again, emotional, but reflect and remember all that all of our officers in uniform, men and women that are out there to serve and protect us. So please keep them in your prayers, as well as the family of Ron Tarantino. Thank you. I see nobody here for the public comment period, correct? So we'll jump right to the next. Representative Campanelli, I am told that our microphone up there is not working. You're welcome to use the podium if you'd like, but otherwise, this is our only recording device. They are recording visually around the room, but vocally, this is the machine, so maybe closer up here, unless you need the podium.
Sure. Right up front here.
Great.
Okay, well,
Floor is yours.
okay, well, thank you very much for having me to speak with you this evening. I know there were a few dates, and Senator Moore has already spoken to you a bit ago, too, along with your meeting recently as well. So, just to give you a little update from, as far as the budget process goes, the House has finished our budget a few weeks ago, and the Senate put out their budget and is about to start their debate tomorrow. Well, you know, if anything, it has been a difficult budget season, budget this year. You know, we originally projected about 3.9% increase in revenues, and those are falling far below projected and pretty much are eroding every month. So typically, when you see the budget go to the Senate, they have a higher revenue number, and you see the budget increase a bit, but this year, unfortunately, you're not seeing that. And you're seeing, you know, there's a few reasons why this is happening, and I think one is there's pretty much a pause with what's going on in DC and people not making the investments that they typically would. And also, our Massachusetts budget is increasingly going towards healthcare costs. We already see this rise in, you know, in mass health, with 40% of the budget surrounding mass health costs, and also employers leaving their private health plans and pushing their employees to mass health as well. So we're struggling with this, and I think everyone realizes this is a problem, and as we're going through the budget process, this are things that we are discussing. With that, I know you probably have the local aid estimate here for Leicester, and with the Senate Ways and Means proposal that came out last week, again, the Chapter 70 and unrestricted government local aid has remained the same as the House, which is $9,708,447 of Chapter 70, and your unrestricted general government local aid at $1.7 billion as well. In the House budget, we were able to get money, as you may be aware, for the Greenville Dam renovations for $15,000, and we'll hope that stays in through the Senate budget as well, and believe this will help the town as well. And I know there's a lot going on with the Chapter 70 funding formula as well, and I know in the House and as well as the Senate, we've taken some small steps to try to implement the Chapter 70 funding commission recommendations, specifically around healthcare costs and special education funding, and we'll continue to push for that through these next 2 years as well. But I'm happy to answer any questions as well. Again, I know this is a process, and we're over the halfway point, but we still have a long way to go.
Questions of the board?
I usually leave.
I guess
Here I am not.
I'd like to hear what Kevin's thoughts are on this budget that's coming in, because I know that it in one side, it looks like it's up, up a little, but when we're through on the other end, we're actually down a little.
Yeah, we're not
Correct.
down a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
the revenues are up, as, the representative said. The budget that we used at town meeting, which was balanced, did have a net increase in state aid of almost $11,000. So, it's not a substantial increase on a
No.
net change in local aid.
No.
We did pass the budget using those numbers.
Yes,
Okay.
I know that.
The Senate Ways and Means came in like $300, literally $300 less, $299 less than the House budget. That's just how it worked out this year. So we have a balanced budget, and that was passed.
Yeah.
I would be curious if I could ask a question just on fiscal year 2017 state revenues and state budget. We're well beyond any timeline in the fiscal year to, have 9C cuts or anything like that, but how does the governor plan to balance the budget this year?
Sure. I mean, that's what the number one concern
Yeah.
is what's the governor going to cut, and that's something we're working through, and what his priorities are going to be. But hopefully, as we're going through these discussions, he'll hold local aid harmless.
Okay.
And
All right.
I have a couple for you that if you don't have immediately, maybe you could have staff or the appropriate department check and get back to us. But as a retiree, I have too much time on my hands. So there's a couple of lines and items that are very, it could be helpful to the town of Leicester, and hopefully we'll get a piece of some of these new pies. There's a national pollutant discharge elimination program that is newly established. It's $1.5 million. And again, on all of these, I want Leicester to get its share. And the same with the Safe Drinking Water Act. It increased by $1.5 million. And the water issues we have throughout this community, that's a place that we ought to do more than just say please. We ought to be in there, I think, fighting for some of these monies. And additionally, there's what I could not find anything on, but there's a brand new line in the budget for $13 million. It is the social innovation financing. No idea what that is, but it's money to me, the Ways and Means committees are much like our town's Finance Advisory Board. And when we processed that, when I was on those boards, you would ask two things, especially when revenues were limited, which generally they are. And that is something new, then justify it and explain it, and or get your piece of the pie. And separately, again, the other increases are increases that somebody out there is increasing while they're cutting other things that affect us every day. And so, again, I, for one, would just like to see where this money's going and why, if it's legitimate, then we ought to be sharing or at least getting something for it. Those are very specific items that we need and we have. And lastly, again, it's one that if I had my Finance Committee hat on, I'd have a red flag on, is an increase in human resources modernization for over $1 million. Well, every one of the cities and towns, I'm sure that you can justify, or the committees appropriately could justify any one of these things. But the reality is, so could we on every one of the, whether they come down as state mandates or whether they come down as just increases in operation. And so where is the fine line there, where 0.3% of increase in local aid doesn't meet the increases in our costs even remotely? The problems the state has at healthcare, we've got in tenfold. So it's just those items in particular, if we could find out, and maybe the places you could go to the appropriate committees going, hey, if you're throwing this money around, we want some. And I know it's not that simple, but in reality, not asking is worse.
And if I can
Right.
just hammer home one of Doug's points that about the water, the environmental bond bill when it comes up, we should try to be on that. Kevin's not going to be here anymore. I'm not going to be here anymore. But there's a serious water issue in town, and funding for water and for parks and recreation. If you can try to find some kind of avenue of stream of funding for us for both those issues, I think it's very important. Obviously, healthcare paramount, but nonetheless. And I also spoke with OPEC. I think OPEC. Sorry, that's the wrong one. The county retirement board about trying to do some kind of a legislation for like a enticement for early retirement for municipal employees. We did it for state employees, and it seemed to have been some success. So maybe if that's something we can follow up on as well, just tuck it per year, and maybe that's something that would help statewide. Yes, please. Thanks.
I don't think you're going to qualify 1 year early retirement.
I'm not in that. People are in it for different stuff.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. All right. Anything else? Anybody else? Thank you for coming. And if you can get back to us on a few of those, that'd be great.
Of course, thank you.
And if you can, we'd love to see you on the
Through the
tenth.
chair, can I ask you just
ahead.
one question? You said that you have your revenue figures, and that the Senate has them too, and that the Senate is higher?
It typically.
No, it's
you know,
typically higher, the
this
revenues.
year-
So you see less in revenue coming into the state, and the Senate does too.
The Senate does too, and the Senate actually has less revenue
Yeah.
than the House did when we passed our budget. And the way things are going, we need to see that a 6% increase in revenues to hit the mark for fiscal year 18 numbers, and that's just something that's.
It just
not
seems,
realistic.
and I understand what you're saying about the health issues and things like that, but it seems odd that the revenues would be down when the stock market is soaring. The stock market is soaring, and Massachusetts is one of those very busy states, even now, even if revenues are down. And you said that the small business owners are dropping their health insurances and making them get on the mass, making their employees get on the mass health or do whatever it is they're doing. The thing is, that's because the Affordable Care Act is not the Affordable Care Act. And we're affording things that we shouldn't be affording, but our state does it anyways,
Right.
and it's frustrating.
We're seeing some consequences.
Well, it's frustrating, because
Yes,
the people that should be able to get what they need aren't getting it because of that,
absolutely.
my opinion.
So, there are two sections that, one in the House that we passed was a Governor Baker's proposal for a $2,000 assessment per employee for these companies that could offer health insurance for their employees but are pushing them off to mass health. Their estimates are a little bit lower, and I'm sorry, I don't have that figure on me right now, but hopefully that will bring in some revenue, and also it's really a short-term fix for.
Well, from what I gather, and it's not Massachusetts' fault, but from what I gather, Medicaid could potentially be going up 400%. That, to me, is ridiculous. But, okay.
Through the
I just
chair.
wanted to ask, okay.
Go ahead, and just a technical note, Kristen had whispered to me, some of you knew this right before the meeting, Artie from LCAC told us. You'll all be getting texts, I'm sure, as you did. So what happens is they're recording this visually through the normal
Right.
network.
Right.
They're recording this verbally on that little machine in front of us. And if anybody can either text back, or maybe Artie can make a sign if you can get a message to him, he should have that up here, that we're actually, because you're going to keep getting calls.
Right.
It should be that we are recording, they're going to dub them
Sure.
together at a later date. But right now, people see it and see us moving our mouths, but nothing happening. So they're calling concern, and I can't relate to them unless somebody can send a message out or Artie can create something like that. That's really what I was looking to do. Look at me. That's what I'm starting to do. But I don't want to lose the meeting. But anyway, so just so you'll know. I'm sorry. Were you next?
Yes.
All right.
Just a question. The online buying, does that affect us? I mean, we pay tax when you buy through Amazon and stuff, but does that affect our economy in Mass? Do you know?
It does, and that's something, we're, as long as many states are looking at, as well as, there's been some push to do online gaming for the lottery as well.
Mass State Lottery?
Mass State Lottery, yes. And, things to help with revenue, and, the lottery goes directly to state aid, so that would be helpful as well.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Diana.
I'm just gonna piggyback off of Tom. As far as the Medicaid, I also heard that was going up. And before the legislature takes any effect on that or does anything drastic, they really need to think about who it's gonna affect. You have a lot of seniors, a lot of retirees that are on fixed income. And if you, not you, don't take it the wrong way, Kate, but I'll rephrase it. If the legislators, okay, don't really think about what they're doing on this one, it could hurt a lot of people.
Certainly, and, a lot of this is waiting to see what, is passed on the federal level.
Right.
As well.
But even on the federal level, it's still gonna hurt a lot of people because they are on a fixed income,
Sure.
Understand. Thanks.
All set? Thank you again.
Thanks,
Thank you, Kate.
Thanks.
Very much.
Artie, whichever camera you can do this on, Artie, I don't know. That'll work, but try.
Not even cool.
Thank you.
Wait.
Now
wait for a
zoom in.
close-up. You gotta wait for a close-up.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him, not me. I don't control the camera, so.
Get a close-up. Wait for it to come. It'll come. They give it to you a lot.
They can't hear us is the problem.
I know, but they'll eventually do it. No? You won't?
I'm looking. Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay, any chance?
They're
we
not
can talk to you
catching on.
Over there, messenger?
Here we go. No, he's coming in. He's coming in. He's got it.
He wants to find out what it says.
They're having a hard time, but they're coming in.
Dun, dun,
Yay!
dun.
You just scared away the rest of our audience. Zoom in.
Yeah, he's trying.
Thanks, Kate.
Okay.
You can't read it.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
need a marker or something.
Yeah,
That's the best I can
Take care,
get
Kate.
in.
Thank you.
I don't know what that says.
We'll try. Yeah, me neither. All right, it was an attempt. That's all I can tell you.
Hey, it was a good attempt.
I need a marker.
Right in?
Aye, yes, please.
Okay.
We only did that for the noise thing, but it's open meeting to keep it open over there, so. You must be buzzing me, right? It's being recorded on this, and we will dub them together at some point.
Hey,
For the record.
That'd be good.
You're so
Hey, like this.
All right, next on the agenda, just the student liaisons are both at a function at the high school
Yep.
and doing their civic duty there. Did Jamie relay anything to you, Harry, that need to be converted today?
The only thing, and it's for tomorrow, so I don't think we need to do it because no one's going to hear it, but kindergarten, Memorial Day program at primary school tomorrow. Kindergarten is at 10 a.m. at the primary school. First grade's at 9 a.m. and second grade's at 11 a.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, the 23rd of May.
Thank you. Let me jump through. I'm trying to get back to Artie, if somebody could text him back. He's doing this, and I'm trying to do this, so, yeah, just let him know. If you could put that out, a message out, that would be helpful. I don't know, make a sign, something. Eagle Scout ceremony. Sorry, I'm getting discombobulated already here. Is that it, next in our packet, or did you move that? Oh, all right, thank you.
That looks nice.
Yeah, on, I'm looking for the date, May 28th, thanks. Sam Songalis is going to be receiving his Eagle Scout. Anybody that can attend, that would be great. But at minimum, we're going to sign the plaque. A motion to sign, please.
second.
Everybody all in favor, aye, opposed to vote.
Aye.
We'll sign this and send it to them. We should have a frame upstairs. If not, we should get one. And present it. Does anybody know if they're going?
Yes, I am definitely gonna
So,
attend.
At minimum, I won't be here, so.
Well, through the chair, can I just say
But
this?
please do, go
This-
ahead.
This function is at the Knights of Columbus down on Manville Street. It's going to begin at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And for us, Rick Seahawk is asking us to either RSVP by his email or by his phone number. We have that
Very good.
on the agenda. Okay.
All right. All right, next we have the sad duty of reading, and I will do the honor or respect to Kevin to read the entire thing as opposed to ad lib it or say much else, but Kevin's letter of resignation. Dear board members, it is with mixed emotions that I submit this letter of resignation from the position of town administrator effective July 7th, 2017. As I look back over the last 3.5 years, I am proud of all that we have accomplished. In 2013, the board set out an aggressive plan to overcome a variety of challenges that the community faced. It's gratifying that many of those challenges are behind us, and we have set the organization on a firmer foundation so that it will be able to continually improve the quality of life for all residents. There are two things that strike me as the most important factors in the success that we have shared. The first is the trust the residents have built in the town. Without the trust of the residents, there is no path to success. Second, it is the passion and professionalism of the municipal staff. With each challenge, no matter how trying, your employees never failed to find a solution. I have the utmost confidence that they will continue to do great things. Thank you for all of your support that you have given me. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve the town of Leicester. Best regards, Kevin Mizuka. And I think, Kevin, we have all said, but I think it reflects the board. We appreciate that you're moving on for the sake of your family and profession, but that we appreciate you and we will miss you.
Motion to accept.
So move to accept the letter of resignation formally
Second.
and reluctantly.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted.
Reluctantly.
Yeah.
Yes.
No letter of thanks.
Well, through the chair.
Tom.
Through the,
I didn't say it.
hey, through the chair.
I didn't recognize it either.
I was thinking, why don't we just talk to Shrewsbury and we'll job share that position? Are you still?
Yeah. Regionalized TA, news at 11. Yeah. No, that part of the motion wasn't recognized or recorded.
Are you saying thanks
We
for
know that,
leaving?
too.
Was that what you're asking me to say?
All right. We have an appointment on the commissions on disabilities. Matilda Ullman, what is your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
If, little
All
conversation.
right, please.
So, we got to meet this lady at our meeting, and she came in to pay her excise taxes prior to, knowing about the board. She, walks with a cane, and she couldn't get in the building properly. She didn't know the layout of the building, so she couldn't get in here good. So now she wants to give back and, help other people with it, so she might be a good asset to our group.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That's great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted, thank you. Inspector of Animals, Janet King.
Motion to accept?
Second.
Any discussion, comment?
What
Kevin?
information- Kevin, is there anything we should know on this?
So the inspector of animal is a statutory position that we need to quarantine animals in cases of rabies and monitor them, as well as do an annual inspection of all the livestock farms within the community. So we've had some difficulties in the past with our recommendations to the state, and we're going to submit Ms. King as a recommendation of the board to fill that vacant post.
Any other comment?
Yes, through the chair.
Go ahead.
I had asked Kevin about this appointment. I think it's great that this person's coming forward. I had questioned the dates. May 9th, 2016, she'd be ready to work. And also May 3rd, 2016. And Kevin said that's because she had applied last year. And we had another alternative at the time, so she's reapplying. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Bronco Park Sports Planning Committee,
Motion to accept.
the
Second.
name Russell Anderson. Motion to appoint.
Approve, yes, motion to appoint, and he did come to one of our meetings, and, he'll be a good fit.
Very good. All
And
in
now
fa-
we finally, after all these years, have a full board.
Who seconded?
I did.
All right.
I did.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. The Middle School Building Committee, are we holding that one, Kevin?
Yeah,
Go
I'd
ahead.
have a brief discussion.
Go ahead, please.
So
Yeah.
we've included the charge in your agenda. The board of selectmen have the opportunity or the requirement through the charge to appoint 4 at-large members designated by you. The superintendent has provided a list of everyone that's on the school facilities study committee that is interested and would be eligible for appointment by the board into these at-large positions. Additionally, the board has received at least one other application that has come in for your consideration of appointment. We're going to put a more formal notice of advertisement out there for this position and solicit applications. And once we have that in hand prior to your next meeting, we'll get that out to you so you can do your own due diligence and make an appointment at the next meeting. But these 2 weeks are not going to delay anything on this project.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, please.
Through the chair, is there a specific number of people that will be appointed to this committee?
There's 15 in total, but you have 4. This board has 4.
So this board will have 4 seats?
Appointment.
Well,
We
have
appoint 4.
appointments. Do we have someone from the board sit as a liaison to this committee?
You have one
Yes.
board member.
One board
One
member,
board
and we
member,
appoint
okay.
4 at large.
All right, that's my question.
Okay.
Curious.
And depending on the timing, we're going to talk a little later about an additional meeting that is not scheduled, so depending on the timing, we may include it in that also. I'll fill you in without jumping too far ahead, but there's likely we'll be meeting next week. We'll talk about a date when that comes up on the agenda. So next we have the Town Administrator Search Committee. I'm going to pass out 3 separate documents, 3 sets. Take one of each set, if you would, and pass them on. And these are guides and/or some things I worked on. I did share, without chancing or violating the open meeting law, I didn't share with anyone but the vice chair because I wanted to review this. And my goal here is to expedite what otherwise can be a long and tedious process. Ultimately, the search committee will make the decisions. These are a template used on what we've used in the past and other professionals have used. So the first order of business, if you look at the first one, says Town Administrator Recruitment Process, is the bylaw requirements. So the town bylaw says you have a screening committee comprised of, and it spells out the membership. And then next it says screening committee reviews all resumes and forward their recommended semifinalists to the Board of Selectmen or finalists. And again, the committee is going to determine that. I'm going to give you a couple of purviews in a minute or some examples. And ultimately, the established committee will make those decisions. This is, again, just trying to get ahead of using a lot of history. So first, this board would name the committee. The town moderator has submitted 2 names for us. The finance board has submitted a name and 2 from this board. So the town moderator has given us Darrell Burks and Wendy Sion. The finance board has given us Bonnie Keefe Layton, and the selectmen would have the chair and vice chair, Doug Belanger and Harry Brooks. So we established this as a committee, and then the next things I'm going to give you is an idea for the charge we're going to give them. Again, once we get through all of this, the dates will be established by the committee. We're going to give them a charge, in essence. It's pretty defined in bylaw, but here's the process. So first, I would move that as our committee.
Motion to accept?
Yeah. And is there a second?
Second.
And so, under discussion, that's going to be, the committee is named, and then I'm going to go through what the process and what our charge would be.
Through the chair.
Yep.
The reason why I didn't second that, I mean, I believe that we need the committee in place. I will be stepping down as a selectman after the next meeting. I pretty much understand that. And I was hoping to be on that search committee. Okay?
But the moderator has named the 2 at-larges.
Yes. But did he work from a pool, or does he just?
Yeah, I'm not sure how sometimes these appointment names come.
Well,
up.
I'm
Just
not- I'm
seems
not
like
saying that the-
dropped on us at
that-
the
I'm
last
not-
second and vote on this.
There was a process,
I'm
right?
not saying that the choices
There was a process,
are
listen.
not appropriate.
Yeah,
But
through
I was
the-
hoping to get on that committee.
Yeah, the town administrator,
So the town has a bylaw
Mhm.
that defines who gets to select
Appoint.
candidates.
Sure.
So the moderator has 2 appointments, the chair of the finance committee has 1 appointment, and the personnel board has 2 committee members slots.
Right.
In lieu of a personnel committee, town council has opined that the board of selectmen serves in their stead. And I don't have the list, but, 2 board members from this committee would serve instead of the personnel committee.
The part that you brought up, though, Kristen, I know in your absence, talked a bit to the town moderator. So, Kristen, what was his process in getting these names? Because I understand he had quite a few.
That's not working.
It's not working anyway.
Sorry for that. So I know he received about 15 names. We put out a call through the website and through social media for folks that would be interested to submit their names to me, and I forward them to the moderator.
So that you know that
No,
email,
I-
the email list that went to everybody that signed up for the email list and stuff?
Yeah.
So it was on there to put your name in if you'd like to.
I didn't see it then, obviously, but I don't really live on social media.
You live on email though? You get the
Yeah.
email? No, I'm
Sometimes.
curious if you get those
Sometimes,
emails.
no, it's okay, all right? I'm just saying, I was hoping to get on that committee,
Yeah.
the search committee, because I know it's a very important
Mhm.
committee. Okay, I mean, we have a tall order there.
Indeed.
So who was?
So we have, the moderator has forwarded, and his are direct appointments of Darrell Burks and Wendy Sion. Finance Board is direct appointment. They have given us Bonnie Keefe Layton.
Yeah.
And the 2 from the Selectmen, I simply went with the chair and the vice chair as myself and Harry.
Was it a thing that maybe Mr. Buckley could jump on there and be like a ex
No.
officio member like
No,
Sandy
no.
Wilson?
It's a bylaw, and it's very clear.
Bylaw,
Yeah, I find it a little cumbersome and something future I would look at. Even the idea, I really, without reading the bylaw, thought this board, with its history, current and future, would be able to work this through. But the bylaw is the bylaw, and it doesn't say may, as I talked to Joe Cove about it. It says will. There's not a lot of gray area. It's absolute. So it is what it is. I would like to walk through the dates. So we do have a motion and a second on the appointment of the committee. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. Now, the rest of this will be suggestions, but your input is important as of today, because we will reach out to these people as of tomorrow and have their first organizational meeting posted and so on. Let me give her,
As a point of information, I just received this within the last 10 minutes. So in order to try
What's
to
that?
dissect it and make reasonable.
none of this is decided by us. This is now the screening committee. I'm sharing ahead so you'll know that this is generally the process. But the screening committee can establish or not establish. I'm just taking history here. So, and it's mostly to keep things moving. If you look at this, we will be fortunate in an aggressive calendar to be able to have someone in place by November. So delaying this any further scares the heck out of me, is reality. Now, that's what it comes down to.
There's a few other things in the world that scare me, but I understand the point of trying to push.
I'm trying to do my due diligence here, so we're gonna move forward here.
Due diligence encompasses other things besides jamming it through.
Stop. Not jamming anything through, you're out of order, and you're out of line. I'm trying to do my job. Now then, if, once this is created, we then will forward the various documents that you see to the screening committee. If there are tweaks in that between now and when the screening committee meets, their first meeting, then certainly your input will be taken by that committee. It'll be up to the committee what they do with it. This whole rest of this is them. The general premise is to run ads no later than June 5th. That means the committee would have to meet, agree, disagree, tweak these things, and create an ad. Telegram and Gazette requires at least 3 days ahead of time, business days, and the publications are mostly monthly that are professionals. So that's why we want to step this up. Hopefully, we can get the resumes and the applications due date by the end of June. That's the 6/30th. Again, these are just hopes and suggestions. If that worked, then playing off of that, by 7/21, the screening committee could submit, and this is up to them, anywhere from 10 to 3 people as their recommendations. There are two ways, I've gone over this with two attorneys that specialize in this, there are two ways screening committees work. Some will take those first 10 resumes, or take all the resumes, whittle it down to 10, and then from there give a recommendation of 3, or, as I printed out, which seemed to be the more popular, is they go through all the resumes, they recommend 10 to this board. This board can meet an exec up until a certain point. And the point would be that they then take from those 10, which are now private still, and take the final 3 or 4, whatever this board decides, and then you notify them individually that from this point forward, we give them a timeline, we're going public. So you can either withdraw your name or not, you're in the top 3 or you're in the top 4. That's the more common way. Again, it's up to this committee or how they will handle it. So at that point, say we take the 10, just as an example, whittle it down to 3 as an example, we would say, okay, the person assigned by the screening committee could make the calls directly to those 3 or 4 finalists and say, look, we are going public as of 48 hours. So are you okay with that? Because some will and some won't.
Point of info, who was the second lawyer you spoke to?
I'm not going to use names here.
You spoke to him about a town issue. You referenced him in an open meeting.
Yeah.
You're not going to say who.
I was getting personal guidance, but we have 2 attorneys that are working with us. Joe Cove happens to be one.
Right, he's town council. Is there another lawyer?
And there is.
Who's the other?
Why do you need to know? I don't care. I just think your constant picking and being a pain in the neck is really old.
Sorry, you feel
What is Chris's last name? Petrini. Chris Petrini does work in addition and in conjunction with Joe Cove.
Same law
Would
office.
you like his resume?
No, same law office.
Thanks. No.
No, different law office.
Yes.
PC. PC? Professional company.
Yeah.
Protective custody.
Jeez. We're off the track already. This is to come down to them selecting the finalist. So the board would then conduct finalist interviews once that's a public process. It no longer can be exec session. So we can whittle it from the number down to our finalists. But after that, it's public once we give notification to those finalists that we're going public. All right? Then we would set, again, I put tentative here because I don't know if all these timelines are going to work. It's a little aggressive, but there's a reason for it, and that is because if we did them by 8/14, then we select our finalists, then we have to make them an offer. They give a 60, 90-day,
Yep.
depending on their contract, 60 or 90 days, so you could be into December. So that's the reason for this.
Just a question, I guess. So once we get together with our board, that board, which is you and I and the other 3 individuals.
Screening committee.
The screening committee, we will decide if we go with a consultant scenario at that point,
Thank
isn't
you.
it, right?
Good point.
I mean,
Thank you. This is all so far done, but great point, Harry.
okay.
For your information, we spent $15,536 on the consultant in Kevin's search and another $2,000 to $3,000 in staff. So, again, the committee can come back to us and say, look, we need a budget. One of my suggestions will be to see if we can do this without, honestly, and I believe we can, but that'll be up to the committee. And if we do it without, then I would want paid staff. I've talked with the office staff upstairs who are willing, assuming Kristen is absorbed in the running day-to-day business with Kevin and with Kevin's pending exit, that we don't take her at all. Marie would be, again, my recommendation, the contact point as far as the emails and the resumes coming in. And I've talked to Jamie Lynn that if the committee approves, we could hire her as our evening minutes taker in posting in the legal things required by us. So that can work. Or ultimately, again, you can go out and hire a consultant. It's just now the timelines get longer.
Through the chair, will Jamie Lynn be available in the summer?
Yes, I spoke
Or
to
is she
her.
going away for school?
Nope, already spoke to her. She's good for evening meetings, and Marie is good during the day for receiving.
And in September, when school starts, she's at Worcester State University.
Right.
Okay.
So she's good with it.
Doug, through the chair, on the suggested schedule,
Mhm.
on the running of the ads, that you've got a date here of June 5th.
Mhm.
That's like, say, within a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a Monday. And the screening committee is going to have to meet to do this, which means Do they have to be sworn in by Debbie?
Yeah, so as of tonight, we officially named the meeting. So Kristen is gonna notify all the committee members tomorrow, urge that they get together. We'll give some suggested dates for initial meeting, then that group organizes, elects their own chair and so on, and then the process starts. But they have to be sworn in
But
first.
even, yeah, I was gonna say, but.
Absolutely.
But even if they say that they wanna get together, they cannot until they're sworn in.
Absolutely. As I said, this is aggressive, but the good news is
Right.
each of the members knows and volunteered for this. Don Cherry assures me he told them we're trying to move this along. So did Rick Antenovica with his team. So we're hoping that in 2 weeks we get everybody together and move this. I can't guarantee any more than that. But everybody's aware of it.
I don't disagree with the timing, okay? I don't.
So that's the general thing. The rest is really, I give to you to take home, mull over, and if there's input you want to give as a member of the Board of Selectmen to the committee prior to their meeting between now and the 5th, hopefully, that's where your input would go.
Yeah.
All right, and they're just drafts from previous things, and that's where we're at. All right?
Yep. So it'll be the screening committee that determines whether they need a consulting firm or not,
Yeah.
even though there is quite a short list out there.
That's right.
Okay, all right.
And you know, I could debate or argue either side of that too. And it's
No, I
really
know,
gonna
I
depend on
know,
the committee.
I agree,
You
I
know?
agree.
I mean,
Yeah.
I go marks back and forth, but,
Yeah,
you know, the people I talk to seem to think we can do it, and I would include Kevin in that group, so.
And then you got the other side of the people, if I
Yeah,
met through the chair,
fair enough.
that say,
Yeah.
you went through a consulting last time.
Yeah, and it worked pretty well.
Maybe that's
Made
the
out
way
pretty
we should
well,
go, again, because we ended up with Kevin, and
And I will tell you, I'm not passionate on either. I'm gonna listen and we'll decide.
Yeah.
I'm not the tiebreaker.
yeah, okay.
All right?
The only-
Yeah, please.
I mean, I don't wanna undermine the screening committee, but as I'm sitting here listening, the only thing I'm thinking is, there's nothing that would prevent you from posting the advertisement in the newspaper,
Anyway?
in advance. That, as far as the bylaw goes, that doesn't fall under their authority. So
Okay.
if you get it out there and get it posted, if they're truly a screening committee, I certainly believe that this board has the best understanding of the needs of the community as far as the position profile statement and the advertisement would go. So this committee could direct those postings. Again, I can't really see someone from the screening committee, you know, it's appointed into these positions having much question. It's not that you wrote a vanilla profile, but it is the profile that seems to meet all the ongoing needs, especially for my seat. So I would suggest maybe that, you know, we could find a week along the way if you were willing to post
How about this?
the advertisement at least prior to that committee.
All right, so how about this? We have, again, it's ahead on the agenda, but I'll talk about it actually, it'll be the next item. It's likely we're gonna we do need a meeting, the board has to agree on a date next week. And you have a holiday on Monday. If we agree to meet on that, would you take the part that says Leicester Mass Town Recruitment? That's the copy of the ad that we lured Kevin in here for under false pretenses. It is word for word with the exception of the contacts and the dates, and I updated the budget. Beyond that, the summary is there. That is what's been used. I read probably 24 of these in the Beacon and the other professional documentation. It's pretty much what they tell. They tell a little bit about the town, tell us what we're doing. They do not, some do, by the way, maybe I should say it this way. Some list a range in salary, most don't. They do the commensurate. We have a large range. If you look at your beacons you all got this last week or so, you'll notice if you read those, a lot of them do. My experience has been when you do, it's hard to take, Kevin's leaving, I can use him as an example. If Kevin comes in and it says the range is 125 to 140, he goes, okay, I want 140. You've already made your selection.
Right.
You're there.
Yeah.
That doesn't really leave you any room for negotiations. I think anybody can go online, anybody in Kevin's business can go online and see what we're paying around here.
Absolutely.
And we can use that as a range. So that's why I left it out. It was not in Kevin's last. This is, again, very close to word for word. We did pay for it, so I don't feel like it's plagiarism, but I just updated in this and then left the additional information. So if you want to mull this over and by our next meeting, come and vote the ad with whatever tweaks you want. I'm fine with that. You guys okay with that?
I remember this ad, and I can tell you, I don't know, Mike, you weren't on the board at the time, but I'm comfortable with this, if it can move
If we
things
can
forward.
move faster,
Because, I mean,
we don't
because
wanna have
it's
somebody in
just
December. If we can move.
it's just a few short lines
Mhm.
about the community and looking for people to apply.
You're either qualified and interested or
Right.
not, the way I look at it.
Yeah,
Through the chair.
Go ahead, please.
The meeting next week is for what? What are we having a meeting for?
Well, okay,
I apologize.
I'm skipping ahead a little bit,
I know,
but we
that's
have
why
a,
I wanna.
we have a problem with some technical and legal deals with the, was it library or school now? I can't remember. Library, sorry. With the library construction and legal documents.
Okay.
And Kevin was out, our attorney had to pass some work to another attorney, and there's a little bit of gray area that will be resolved tomorrow or the next day, soon, I should say. But it is not perfect. They had asked us to, in essence, approve the finances and just get the details done later. I told Kevin that's not a comfortable way to do business. The details are very important about having, in my opinion, leverage or not on how you enforce it, what mechanisms you go through if it's not enforced. We've had this experience with another ongoing and recent construction project. I do not want to see us just give a blank check to somebody and say, oh, well, if we disagree with your production or timing or this or that, what is our mechanism now? So that has to be spelled out in my mind before we do it. A week doesn't hurt us any, but it gives the lawyers time to come up with an agreement of what the agreement actually says, as opposed to saying, we'll approve the money part of it and we'll talk about the details later. That just doesn't fly. It's
So if
bad
I may,
government.
so it wasn't for this, so I'd like to make a motion, we get this in the paper ASAP.
I'm okay with that. I just giving you
Second.
the option. Motion, second, and just with the appropriate, again, add-ons that we need. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Thank you. I have no problem with that.
Get her out there.
Yeah, I'm good.
so Kevin, in
Yeah.
your opinion, Kevin, therefore, that by doing this, we're not usurping the committee?
No,
Okay.
Okay,
the committee is charged with finding you
yes,
the candidates that respond to.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
All right, so the next one, again, I touched on, but Kevin will give us a little more detail. I did it very generically and off the top of my head, so I don't know if I did anything wrong. Correct me, Kevin, but basically, what I understood.
That's the summary. We would hope to meet with you prior to 2 weeks to, once we've worked out some contradictory language in the contract. We have a very solid number with DA Sullivan, very good references, but we have not come to final agreement on the exact language within the 2 sections of the contract, and it's obviously very important.
Mm-hmm. So Tuesday, Monday being Memorial Day, Tuesday is the 30th, Wednesday is the 31st, or June 1st is the Thursday. Is there any days that are just bad for anybody? Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday of next week?
Tuesday's bad for me.
Oh.
I will not be in
Well, Wednesday's looking better and better, folks. How's Wednesday?
early as possible on Wednesday.
What's
Again, I'm
Wednesday?
game.
What's Wednesday?
It is the
June
30, no,
I'm sorry.
no,
31st.
31st, May 31st.
Oh, it's May 30th.
Good,
Oh, okay.
good,
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 with that.
good. Please book May 31st for that meeting.
What time do we need?
What time is good? I'm retired now, I can't say. I'm available.
As possible, is it 4:30? Whatever.
I don't know who has what.
4:30 works for me.
Make it work, just make it work,
I don't know.
whatever.
I can't guarantee 4:30.
Is 5 workable? At least it gives them a little flexibility.
Yeah.
What is the issue?
Now, what's,
I'm headed out for a conference, so.
Mm-hmm.
it's
Five.
I can call you tomorrow.
But does 5 help any more than 4:30, or you two gotta confirm?
is 5 better for you, Michael?
Tuesday might be
Mine's
better for
fine,
Kevin.
just don't-
Just that, I didn't know if you asked about
Springfield or
Tuesday.
something, if I get caught up.
Because Tuesday works for me.
Okay.
I can be back.
Hold on. I just hearing from Harry that Tuesday worked. I thought I heard somebody can't do Tuesday.
I can't do Tuesday.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
I
that.
thought I did, so, okay. So
I can do
Wednesday,
Thursday. I'm open Thursday, but
Yeah, but
I'll check Wednesday.
these guys can't do Thursday,
Right,
so
I'll check
Can we do 5
Wednesday.
o'clock on Wednesday?
Wednesday at 5 is what I'm trying to get to. Does that work for you guys, or can you call and
I'll
confirm?
call Kevin and confirm.
Tentatively.
Tentatively, Wednesday, 5
good.
o'clock.
I'm good.
All right,
Okay,
you got that, you guys? Thank you.
and it's for,
The seconds we,
select.
Yeah, we're gonna book a special
So that we
selectmen's meeting
or-
regarding the construction contract for about the library expansion and renovations project.
We're passing over that now.
Correct. All right. All right, we all good there? Next, we have consulting services agreement regarding landfill monitoring. What do you got? Plug that date in before I forget.
This is an agreement with Tate and Howard, who is the consultant that we use for all environmental monitoring of the closed landfill. This agreement will run through the end of fiscal year 2018, which is the upcoming fiscal year. The total value of the contract is $32,600. We have sufficient funds on hand, both from the approval from the most recent town meeting and what was on hand in our current accounts to cover the balance of these costs. These are the statutorily mandated environmental monitoring tasks. The contract is for the town administrator to sign.
Motion to have the town administrator sign it.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Lease purchase agreement, aerial scope, tax exempt leasing company.
This is the five-year financing document for the 2006 Gladiator midship 95-foot aerial tower. The agreement runs such that it will actually be $90,080.78 a year. And we, of course, will be moving forward with adding the additional equipment to the vehicle within the next few months once we take it, once we have the leasing documents finalized and signed. So again, it will be for a total of $90,000 a year, $425,000 in principal, $25,000 in interest over the course of that financing period. And actually, this
Questions?
document
Motions?
also for a single signature, so that can either be the chair or the town administrator.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Let's make it for the town administrator to sign.
Yes.
Second.
Any
I
other
already did.
discussion? We just, as the TA signing, right?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted.
Opposed.
Thank you. Opposed. One opposed.
Thank you.
Got it. All right, next we have the declaration of right of first refusal to Green Street parcels. Can you tell us a little bit more about this, Kevin? We have a lot of,
So this is land that's falls under the restriction of Chapter 61A, Section 14. These are, this is for Lot 5, and will be combined with Lot 5A and be combined with Lots 5B and C. The Board of Selectmen, or the town generally, has the right of first refusal in purchasing any land that's in chapter land set aside for agricultural purposes, which receives a reduced tax burden while it's under protection. So the right of first refusal would allow the town to match any bona fide offer of any land that's proposed for sale to come out of that restriction. In this situation, the buyer agreed to pay $175,000 for as the fair market value of the land through the purchase and sale agreement that has been included with your packet. We did research and send this out with all interested departments, and we find no municipal interest or use for the land, and we recommend the board vote to decline or not exercise its right of first refusal for the purchase of this land.
So moved.
is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Thank you.
Through the chair, when I was reading through the documents on that, however, it said that, two of the parcels were two of the lots that are in the survey, on the assessor's map, were selling for $175,000. That's what we approved. But there was also another one selling, I thought, for $95,000 as well. Do I have that mixed up? There was a 5A that was selling for $95,000.
Let's just look, yeah.
A 5B and a 5C, which was selling for $175,000. So I'm just curious
Mm-hmm.
what that is.
They had a combined offer in that.
Yeah, but that was a combined officer, when I,
misread it. I
Um,
think you may be right.
so isn't that the total, like $270,000 total? If the person's buying 5A, B, and C?
That's correct, yes. Yes, you'd have to match.
So we had,
Excuse me, so chapter 5A is staying in chapter restrictions, so you don't have the opportunity to purchase that. Chapters 5B and, or lots 5B and C are coming out and will be used for residential use.
I see.
So they'll come out of.
So those are the two that we had the right of first
That's
refusal, but not
Right.
5A?
Right.
No, 5A.
Oh, okay, all right, then that
No,
explains
5A
it.
was
Okay,
staying.
thank you.
So is our motion clear?
Motion is good then. But I didn't think it was.
Not a problem.
The amount.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, still voted. Just making sure.
What did we just vote
That was on the right of first refusal.
on? Okay.
That
Oh,
we,
yeah.
we did not exercise our right of first
All right,
refusal.
I thought we voted twice, sorry.
The handicap parking fines, Kevin?
In the fall of 2015, the town meeting voted to accept Chapter 40, Section 8J for the creation of a Commission on Disabilities, a formal statutory, for that formal statutory authority. And along with that gives the town the option to utilize some of the revenue generated from the enforcement of handicap parking to fall under the purview of that committee, the Commission on Disabilities, and to be used to eliminate architectural barriers and public properties within the community. So up until this point, we haven't taken action, mostly due to me coming up with what the process is for us to take this on. So right now, we have the statutory authority to allow some of those fines and fees to go over under the purview of the Commission on Disabilities. Also currently, we have a fee set at, or a fine set at $200 for a violation of handicap parking restriction. So I would suggest, and through statute, the board has authority in setting the total value of handicap parking fines for the town of up to $300. So I'd suggest, or ask for the board's consideration and discussion on increasing our fine from $200 to $300 and having the additional $100 be dedicated to and for use by the Commission on Disabilities to help remove architectural access barriers in public spaces within the community. Now, the accounting mechanism would be set up so that the $200 that we're currently collecting would remain as a general fine, and the extra $100, which would be increased if you so vote tonight, would be set aside again under the purview of the Commission on Disabilities to enact a change within the public spaces within the community.
Good, what are your thoughts?
Okay, well, through the chair, I did discuss this with Kevin, and I asked him up front, and we'll put this out here. I said, so does that mean that the Commission on Disabilities will have a revolving account for this money that's being put in? Kevin said no. What it would be is that the town treasurer would set up a line item account where the money would go into that account, that way. It would just go into that part of the budget.
Why not a
So they would
revolving?
have access to it.
It doesn't fall under any statutory guidelines for revolving since it's a fine.
I was gonna say, it doesn't have a
Right.
steady
It's not a
identifiable
fee.
revenue stream, that's what it is.
But it would be just a separate line item.
Understood.
Okay.
All right.
How
I
many of
wanted
those,
to know.
how many of those fines did we cite last year? I mean, handicap fine, what kind of return can we
I
expect?
don't have that number, but I can certainly get it for you.
And the other one would be, do most people charge the full 300 in this area? I mean, would we be like an outlier?
It's my understanding not, but I don't have any data, so.
If I may?
I just wanna know if we looked at it, I don't know.
If I may, so I'm on Commission on Disabilities, and Jim Ranke's, but he researched this, and other communities are 300, yeah. Not all, but there are a lot of other communities that are. I just don't remember which ones they were.
I just think if you purposefully violate that, 300's fairly minor. If you know, there are exceptional cases, and you argue those at the hearings, so I'm okay with it.
Yep.
Was there a motion?
Motion to accept.
Second.
At 300, set at 300, right?
Motion to accept the $300 fine for handicap parking
And
fines.
there is a second.
interspersed.
Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, well, through the chair, do we need to stipulate that if we're gonna set it at, if we're gonna set the fine at 300, that 100 will be put into a special line item account for?
Kenner, I'd rather do it than not, so part of your
Go
motion
ahead.
with the allocation of funds as presented by the town administrator. Is that good enough?
Yes.
Okay, then it's second.
That's okay with your second?
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted,
Okay.
thanks. Okay, Highway Department's streets list. What you got, Kev? Other than it's here.
Yeah, I pretty much have what is listed for the public's information.
Mm-hmm.
The plan for this coming summer would be Hemlock Street being resurfaced from Marshall Street west approximately 4,900 linear feet. Henshaw Street from South Main Street to Autumn Lane, which is approximately 8,140 feet. Manville Street from Paxton Street to Mulberry Street, which is approximately 1,115 feet. And Marshall Street from Paxton Line East, approximately 4,900 feet. The plans for this would estimate a cost for the milling and resurfacing and repaving is just shy of $600,000. We do have the math in front of the board showing that we have sufficient Chapter 90 funds on hand of $659,000. We would also have a contingency in there for pipe, gravel, frames, and stone of $10,000, leaving a balance of $51,000 in our Chapter 90 fund with what's available. So this is the plan of the highway superintendent. We distributed it to the board earlier this month, and hopefully if you had any specific questions, you were able to reach out to him at the request of the email, but I'm happy to answer any questions that I can answer this evening.
I do have a
Questions? Go ahead,
question,
Tom.
but I don't know if you can answer it, and I was meaning to talk to Tom about it. On that section of Henshaw Street that is going from South Main down, we've talked about that road a couple of times, and my question is, because it can be pretty shaky in the winter, are they gonna widen it or just pave what's there?
Paved.
Okay.
That has difficulty, we've
I
looked at
know.
that before, as you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
in that you're basically cutting through what probably wouldn't be allowed to be a road in modern time because it's wetlands on both
Right,
sides.
right.
So you can resurface, but you can't really do much in
Yeah,
add-ons.
yeah, no, I know.
So it's
But I
a
know
tough
that it's
area.
shaky. In the wintertime,
Yeah.
two cars will be coming down the road, and if one of them is too far in the middle.
Mostly off topic, but I recently read something where there's a couple of communities, I want to say Cape-wise, but there's also some in New Hampshire, whose committees or boards are looking at almost keeping roads smaller to slow everybody down by force. So I guess there's some logic to it. I'm not sure I'm ready for that, but ours is what it is, and really,
This would slow them down by swim.
Mm.
you know?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I think that's not been one of our more dangerous roads, knock
No.
on wood, so.
No, but it's-
All right, so the motion is to accept the presentation as given to the
So
board.
moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Next, we will be establishing the election. It is our duty to do so. I will formally read this. Town of Leicester Annual Town Election, June 13th, 2017. In the name of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you are hereby directed to notify and warn the inhabitants of the town of Leicester qualified to vote in town elections and town affairs to meet at their respective polling places, namely Precinct 1, 2, 3, and 4 at 3 Washburn Square on Tuesday, the 13th of June, 2017, at 12 noon until 8 p.m. Then and there to bring their votes for 2 selectmen for 3 years, 1 selectman for 2 years, 1 town clerk for 3 years, 1 assessor for 3 years, 2 school committee members for 3 years, 1 Board of Health member for 3 years, 2 planning board members for 3 years, 1 planning board member for 1 year, 2 public library trustees for 3 years, 1 Moose Hill Water Commissioner for 3 years. Pursuant to the above warrant, I have notified and warned the inhabitants of the town of Leicester by posting a certified copy of the following precincts. Precincts 1, Leicester Post Office. Precinct 2, Redemption Center, Jan's Beermont. Precinct 3, Post Office in Rochdale, Precinct 4, Leicester County Bank for Savings, on the town clerk's bulletin board, on the front entry of the town hall, and the wardens and town clerk not less than 7 days before the 13th of June, 2017, given under the hands and seal of the town this, I'll be voting it today, I assume, 22nd day of May, 2017. I respectfully submitted for the Leicester Board of Selectmen, and then we all so would sign off on this.
Motion,
Second.
Motion to post as presented, second. Any other discussion?
Just on precinct 4, Leicester Country Bank for savings, just FYI.
What did I say?
County.
County. I just wanted so they could hear it.
Oh, I thought I did, but okay, thank you.
Yeah.
No problem. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. You got the official one, is that what it is? Thanks.
Better quit smoking.
What's that?
let's start.
Yeah,
Yes?
Normally, the board takes 2 votes, one to set the time and date, and one to sign the warrant.
Oh, no, we signed the warrant?
Second.
So,
Next week we do the other part.
you want to do them separate? Are you required to? I didn't think you
We
were.
have it on the agenda twice.
They're two
that's
separate.
how-
Oh, all right, I'm sorry then.
So it's
Set
been
the
mo-
date. The first one was
moved
set the
and
time
second.
and date.
All right, set time and date.
What was the-
You know what, it's fair, so let me just say that the one we just voted was the signing of the annual town warrant as I read it, all right? Secondly, and slightly reverse unless we change it, the suggested date is 12 to 8. You know the history behind that, I'm sure, and unless somebody's got to make a
Motion
motion.
to accept 12 to 8 on June 13th, 2017.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. All right?
Here.
Discussion, old business, town administrator transition and recruitment.
We have one more
I
item.
missed.
We have one more item.
Well, I don't have K on mine.
No, you sure you do?
Take the others out
There's a new one. Here you go.
No, I started working this in the last draft, and now they've added that. I see. So there is a request for reserve fund transfer for the EMS department. Kevin?
Yeah, so we have a unexpected employee absence that will require the position to be refilled because it's our full-time basic EMT position that we staff 40 hours a week. So we would need a reserve fund transfer for the ambulance department for $9,475. The reserve fund, we have not used it all this fiscal year. There's $50,000 in it at this time. I do not foresee any other needs for it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And under discussion, and to be clear, the Board of Selectmen is requesting this of the Finance Advisory Board. Correct, Kevin?
Yes, yeah, so along with the advisory committee, the board of selectmen.
But they disperse the money, so we're requesting it of them, just for protocol's
Yes.
sake. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Phone
All right.
call.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted.
Just for the record, that was a knee injury that he's out. They're about to replace him.
I don't think we should discuss that.
All right, it's in the, it's right here.
That was unanimous, correct?
Yes.
This is the board chairman to sign. You got it? Thanks. You're the best.
No, it's not administrator.
Yeah, it's one of the negatives of me starting early. When there are changes, I have my notes on the first one. I should look to the second. It's been a year and I haven't done it. Why would I start now? Okay, so we have town administrator, this transition and recruitment. Is there anything further from what we discussed? Did you have anything? And did board members?
No.
Again, we did this in 2
We already did
steps.
Right.
So this one we did early and combined everything. If everybody's okay with that,
Right,
we're
we had
moving on.
moved it up.
All right, then town administrator report.
So I don't have a written report, except for I wanted to update state aid numbers with the board. I've provided my summary document that I always do, the Senate Ways and Means budget that has come out last week. The numbers have held largely the same, and I already mentioned this. It's literally, the Senate Ways and Means budget is $291 net less, net to the town. So still only a 10% increase to the budget. I can update a couple other things beyond that as well. The town had applied for a IT grant through the Community Compact Program. Unfortunately, we were not one of the communities that were awarded those funds. So that's unfortunate, because we were gonna do some good things to provide some efficiency and disaster recovery. We're also not awarded the preservation grant for the library stained glass windows. So that restriction that may have been imposed upon the Leicester Public Library will not be imposed because we were not selected for the grant. So, we didn't receive those two grant awards, but, that's all.
Are we going to be able to repair those stained glass? Or is that a separate situation now?
I think we had the funding within the total project budget to be able to do that. We may have to do a change order for that $30,000.
Yeah, we met and we voted to approve that work. It's the amount of about $30,000,
Yeah.
I believe. And I believe we did approve it.
Because I think, wasn't the grant like 17 and that was half of it or
Yes,
something?
yes,
So give or
we're
take,
getting
it
a
was
grant.
34.
We're getting a grant, so it's
Got
like
it.
50/50. So
Thank
we're
you.
not paying 30, it's, total cost is 30 and we're getting a grant for about.
We're not getting the
Oh,
grant.
we're
that's the
not,
problem.
we're not getting
We
the
didn't
grant.
get the
I was doing the calculation of.
Oh, okay,
It was
all right, okay.
half, so therefore it
All
must be around
Yeah.
32, 34, that's all.
So
We'll
did
meet
you
again.
did you approve the full
Well,
30 grand under your group, or you don't know?
We approved
Doing
The initial.
work.
getting the initial one, so we're gonna have to go back and revisit
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
All right, we have the minutes of May 1st.
It's a fine, how do you do it?
Motion to accept.
May 2nd?
It says May 1st on one and May 2nd on the other. Is it-
I've got May 2nd.
Oh,
Yeah,
in
as
the
I
past?
said, yeah, can we pass over both? I think I got one section and it's like half of a page.
That's on May
The May 2nd one is simply the time we met at town meeting and we didn't do anything.
There's no.
Motion to accept meetings from May 2nd.
I want to be clear with, is there a second, and I'll clarify with Michael. So as you look at this, it's only, it was motion and second to approve.
Nobody
right?
seconded.
I've made a
Oh, yeah.
All right,
motion
I'm
to
with you. Yeah,
accept.
this is from town meeting.
Yeah, that's all. There's no actions here.
Second.
And at the end,
No
if
first.
there's anything I would add, it would be that we did actually adjourn. It says within the motion that we made to recess to
Right.
special town meeting and the adjourn at the loss of a quorum. Is that all you need? I'm good with that. I just happened to notice it. But okay, motion was made and seconded, and after much ado, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Was there something on the May 1st one?
We just
It
get
just-
distributed to the.
Oh, okay, well, wait. We're meeting again, as we said, on the, no, we're meeting on the 30th, so we're good.
Where's my voter card?
You must be leaving soon.
Selectmen reports. Mike?
A number of different things. On June 10th, there'll be a landscaping party down at Tote Park. We've had a number of individuals over the last few months be involved with this. On that point, I would like to, maybe toss out for next meeting that we have, not this coming week, but the actual full meeting that we have prior to my cessation from the board, to take up the agenda item of a Tote Park Committee, similar to the Burcoat Park Committee. Maybe it would be best to just do it under the board of selectmen. And with 12 applicants, you don't want to turn down that many applicants or have that many people get involved and leave them at an empty door with nothing to get involved with. So if we could put that up for next time, that'd be great. But on the 10th, we're going to have that, and on the 11th, and everybody's invited to participate and bring their karaoke skills if they have it, and their auction wands. June 11th at Leicester High School from 7 to 10 p.m. We're going to do a Wolverine Idol, and there'll be a $100 cash prize for the winner there, and there'll be a sign-up online coming this week. In addition, we're going to have some celebrity judges there, so it should be a good time. I hope we see you there as well. Tote Park being our only nationally recognized park in town, we're looking for auction items as part of it, so it'll be a lot of live auction singer. Probably like $2 or $3 to get in at the door, nothing to sing. And I've done a good job going from door to door, from business to business, getting gift certificates, team baskets, that kind of thing. If there's other stuff that people could, that feel, if they want to donate for auction items, we could definitely use it. Very, very happy with the way things are going down in Tote, and hopefully we can continue with that progress. I'm still waiting to hear back on 2 grant applications, and one of them I hear good things, the other one I'm still waiting on, and that's good news because I think that there's some dangerous equipment down there. And on that point, Kevin, can we make sure that we get the highway department to get those poles out of there? That'd be great. And it's been quite some time. But other than that, Totade's the thing right now, just trying to get everything together, and really appreciate all the help everybody's been giving.
Diana?
Okay, so we also have a cleanup at Burnco Park on June 4th at 10 o'clock for anyone who wants to come and help. We'll have bags and gloves and things, but just in case we run out, always have a pair of gloves with you. So that's being done by the Burnco Park Sports Committee, and Kevin DeSantis is the one that's actually heading this one up for us.
Diana, what's the time of that?
10 o'clock.
10 to what?
10 to 12, I think, or 2. I think it's 10 to 2. I'm not sure.
Thank you.
I also went to the legislative breakfast that CMRPC held on Friday, and I'm hoping to get the slides, because I think the slides would help us. It was about the charter schools and how important they became, and how much money it actually costs each of the towns, and they had a breakdown of it, which I think was very interesting. That's it.
Thank you. Tom?
I do have a couple of things to say.
I didn't even hear a proposal.
Usually I don't. I just wanted to say that on May 2nd, when we had the special town meeting and the annual town meeting, I personally was thrilled with the way the town meeting went that night. It was long, and people stayed to finish the meeting, and I thought that the outcome on all the articles was tremendous. It shows that our town is working together to move forward, and I'm thrilled with that, because that's what we need to do. And I just wanted to say, great job to the townspeople of Leicester. Okay, and I mean that completely, okay?
Agreed,
Thanks.
agreed.
Yeah.
That it? Thank you, Tom. Harry?
Friday, we had Special Olympics at the high school with 160 athletes this year, which is double than we normally have. Everything was successful. Nobody got hurt. Just like to thank the fire department, police department, and multiple other people that all helped us with that day, because it can't happen without you. Also, somebody said it already. That's all. Thank you.
Mine's just a reminder on Memorial Day. First, you're all invited by our veterans organizations to meet at the Memorial School and do the traditional parade, and then the ceremonies to follow at the Common. Light a candle for good weather. And as always, it's worth noting that our combined veterans organizations just put on a very special and solemn presentation ceremony, and they ask and remind us that it is that, and not a clowns and candy bars from the floats. It's a solemn occasion showing respect for those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. So I hope you can all attend, and this isn't going out live, but we'll remind the public hopefully through LCAC anyway. That's it. Do we have an exec?
Motion
No.
to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good, thank you.
Oh, I never have that. It's so rare.
Don't talk to me here, you know.
So you gotta post and do everything for our